Good morning and welcome to Lenny Melnick's Fantasy Sports Network, folks. This is Cha-Cha here, giving you last night's waiver wire pickups and drops today in three of our leagues that are a lot of the people that are part of this site contribute to, I should say. We have the Trucker Rob League that sports 14 people in a head-to-head league. Well, believe it or not, folks, when people say, I don't really like to do, daily moves, it's too much work, and I can't be bothered with all that stuff, I just like to play in a league where, we make our picks from, on Sunday night, and that's it, and that's all we have for the rest of the week. And you can't make any moves. You can't pick up any players. Man, maybe that's, works for your schedule. But after a real wild Fab week that stopped yesterday, I didn't think today would be that many picks and drops. Pickups or drops, for that matter, on a Monday. Well, today's Tuesday, folks, and in one league alone, with 14 teams, there was 10 moves made in this league last night. So people are really hitting that waiver wire and hitting it hard. Now, a couple of guys had to be dropped because they got injured. Jordan Hicks there over there at the Cardinals. Obviously, I had him on more than a few teams. Had to drop him in all of my leagues. And honestly, I heard a few people saying, well, I might just keep him on my bench. Maybe he comes back later in the year. Folks, that's not going to happen. And I can't afford to put anybody on my bench that's not going to play until possibly September. I don't see why. If he has surgery, I don't think he's coming back at all this year. So if you have Hicks from the Cardinals, my advice to you is to, unless it's a dynasty league or whatever you guys playing in one of them keeper leagues, you have to consider then probably keeping him. But as far as me playing in a league, I don't play in any of those leagues. I can't keep a guy on my bench that's not going to play. No reason for it. So I dropped him. I consider you guys dropping him too. Now let's get over to some of these. Yes, that's right. Tommy John surgery. Lenny tells me in the chat room for Hicks. So that would eliminate any of the chit-chat over on Twitter on reasons why to hold on to Mr. Hicks. Thank you, Mr. Melnick, in the chat room. Appreciate it. Lenny comes up. The great Lenny Melnick will be up in, less than 20 minutes today for you folks. So Lenny will be here with his podcast at 9 o'clock today. Now we'll go over some of these moves. Our boy Mitch Harston. He has no fab money, folks. He has no fab money. It's not even July yet. And I gave this guy $1,000 worth of fab money. He spent every nickel. I'd hate to have this guy as my accountant, if you know what I'm talking about. But we are allowing 0 bids in this league, so he's still very active, and he's giving it the old school try. Now, he picked up, yeah, that's you, Lenny. Lenny's in the chat room right now. I don't know if anybody else is, but Lenny's usually up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning doing all his research for you guys. And I got to say, for a guy that does 4 hours of research and puts everything into a 45-minute podcast, it's pretty incredible. I got to tell you, folks. It's a thing to listen to on a daily basis. I look forward to it. He's inspired me to do what I'm doing right now without this... Without Lenny, I wouldn't be here right now. I'll tell you that, doing these podcasts, that's for sure. No, you cannot. In the chat room, somebody's asking, can you trade for Fab in that league? No, there's no trading of Fab. There was no trading of Fab in any of the leagues that I play. I guess in some leagues, some commissioners may have that, and people may want to do that. I, unfortunately, if you play in my league, I don't even know if it's allowed to be done. I guess you have to set it up a certain way. I never even thought about using Fab as part of trading some Fab. But I tell you, when you have $1,000 worth of Fab and you throw it all away, not saying throwing it all away. If you're picking up good plays and it's helping your team, you got it's worth it. But you got to have some money left at this time of the year. Come on, folks. I mean, I only have about $150 left, but I lost Severino and Judge and Lindor and Turner. I lost top players. These are my top 4 picks. I lost right off the bat. So I had to use my fab as much as I could to try to stay in contention here. So if you lose your top 3, 4, 5 players, I know you got to dig deep, but have nothing left, absolutely zero. Damn, it's kind of rough. But yeah, I guess like in the chat room, hey, how you doing, guys? Donkey Oki's up early. Bear Man, hey, what's up, buddy? Leonard Donaldson, and yeah, you guys, hey, thanks for coming in early this morning. Well, let me get down to some of these picks, so maybe you guys help you guys out here with some of these drops. Maybe you'll be interested to go on your waiver wire and pick up some of these guys or drop some of these guys and agree with some of these guys. Now, Bobby Bradley, who was talked about a lot on Sirius and talked about in our chat room a little bit yesterday, I thought he would get a little more of a fanfare as far as fab goes and get picked up for some money. Well, Mitch picked him up for nothing in a very competitive league like I'm going through right now that made 10 pickups yesterday. Nobody bid $1 for this guy. And he dropped Jose Martinez from the Cardinals for him. Now, Bobby Bradley, he has the power, but is he going to strike out 1,000 times? Who knows? Good morning, Easy Kill. Welcome to the chat room. Now, Jose Martinez is not having the greatest year in the world, but I guess being on the waiver wire now, I would say more than likely, I don't think he's going to get picked up immediately, but as a stand-in player for your team on a given week, I got no problem using Jose Martinez. And Mitch also picked up, now I don't know what he was thinking about this move because he's going to have to stash this pitcher. He picked up Pablo Lopez for nothing. Nothing. They didn't pay a dime for him. And he dropped Ariel Jurado of the Rangers, I believe. He's not anybody that's knocking down your door to put him on your staff. So Pablo Lopez obviously is going to have to go on Mitch's IL list, and he'll have an extra move to make because that spot's going to be open for him, as Pablo Lopez may not play the rest of this year, folks. But he's taking a chance that he's going to come back sometime. And he had pitched pretty good, Pablo Lopez, for the Miami Marlins. I mean, the whole pitching staff seems to be pitching pretty good, considering every day they're bringing up another guy left and right. And every time they bring up somebody, it seems like they've all pitched pretty decently. Another guy that was picked up by our boy Danny Pasqua. Danny Pasqua is my buddy Vic. Picked up Josh James of the Houston Astros. Guess he wants a little whip, a little dip, a little ERA, maybe some strikeouts from Josh James. And he dropped Brandon Dixon, who has been playing pretty good for the Detroit Tigers. I actually had him, I think it was last 2 weeks ago, I think I had him. But my team became full of my offensive players. Finally, Judge came. I got Judge and a couple of guys off my DL, and I had to drop Brandon Dixon. But not a bad guy to have on your team, to fill up the back row of your bench there. Yeah, he plays first base in the outfield. And he was a tout. I'm sure Easy Kill, who's a big Cincinnati Red fan, knows a little bit more about Brandon Dixon. Hopefully, he was a Cincinnati Red, one of their prospects for quite a while. Not a bad player in the minor leagues, and was a prospect for quite a while. Now he's getting to play with the Tigers, so who knows? Maybe he'll pan out. Now, my turn up at the plate, I had a spot open since I dropped Jordan Hicks, and I went for another guy that's also hurt, that's on the injured list, hoping that he comes back and pitches halfway decent. Dinelson Lamet of the San Diego Padres. I know I've messed that name up big time. But Dinelson, whatever that frick his name is, Lamet of the Padres, pitched pretty good for the Padres last year before he got hurt. I'm stashing him on my IL for the time being. My pitching isn't the greatest, and I'm going to put him on my IL for the time being. If he comes back, pitches good, and then I got myself a back-of-the-end pitcher there on the Padres in a good ballpark on a decent team. Padres are a little better than they've been the last few years. So I'll stash him, and I got him for absolutely nothing. So it didn't cost me nothing. He's on my IL for the time being. Now my buddy Blaze, Joe, he's a friend of mine. He picked up Sean Newcomb. He picked up Sean Newcomb for $2. Now, or Shane Newcomb, Sean Newcomb, whatever you want to call him. and he dropped Enyel De Los Santos of the Philadelphia Phillies. Nobody's rocking and rolling, knocking their brains out on that move. Sean Newcomb, who knows, might get a few saves, might even get a spot start here or there. I'm not sure where Sean Newcomb's going to end up this year, where he's going to end up in the bullpen, starting. Anything's possible. But for $2, and let's face it, he wasn't keeping Enyel De Los Santos that long. He picked him up for probably a spot start. So pretty much that's it. Now our reigning right now champ that's for this year is Mekid. Now, Meckett's kicking everybody's ass in this league. Now, he picked up for $2 the speedster, Billy Hamilton. Now, Billy Hamilton's been on my team. I drafted him. He's been on another team. I think this might be his third or fourth team already. He keeps bouncing around from team to team. So when you need a couple of steals, you pick up Billy Hamilton, I guess, for that week. But he dropped, believe it or not, folks, one of the greatest second basemen before his steroid use of all time. Robinson Cano, folks, got dropped to the waiver wire. Can you believe that? Robinson Cano, the once great Robinson Cano, is now a waiver wire in a 14-team head-to-head league. Wow. I'm sure somebody's going to get a chubby for him and pick up Cano. Who knows? Maybe my Yankee, what do they call that? Yankee, whatever is in my blood there, I might end up picking him up just for old time's sake. I doubt it, but tough times. Easy Kill up at the plate. Now, my boy Easy Kill, he went and picked a Cincinnati Red that hasn't pitched this year. I believe he's a former Dodger, Alex Wood. Got him for $3. And he dropped Mike Leake. Mike Leake, I believe, at one time also was a Cincinnati Red. Now he's a Seattle Mariner. Alex Wood, I don't know what he's going to give Easy Kill. He's not pitching anytime soon. He's going to go, I guess, on his IL list. I guess that's the story. I mean, Alex Wood might be able to give you a little bit of help, but I don't think in the chat room they say nobody's getting a chubby for Cano. I got you. I know. Oh, hey, listen. You know, when you're in a head-to-head league, Robinson Cano, if he's totally done, I mean, you look at the schedule. I mean, who knows? Maybe you get a week of Robinson Cano, you pick him up. Maybe they're playing the Rockies, or maybe he gets hot for a couple of weeks. You keep him, you use him. I mean, that's what you do with a lot of these guys anyway. You do that with pitching all the time, right? You pick up a pitcher for a spot start, so pick up Robinson Cano for a spot start, or he's pitching if some rotten pitcher's pitching. You can pick him up for that day or something for that week, But I don't know. I mean, I feel Robinson Cano, the day he left the Yankees was a sad day for us over here in the Bronx. But hey, listen, his career, he probably would have been. I don't know. I think he's borderline Hall of Famer. But now, forget it. It looks like though the steroid thing, and now that he's really, he's gone from a superstar to a bum, and not in a pretty quick time. And then again, he's a Met. Once he goes to the Mets, those guys are like cursed. I don't know. Another move that was made, I think I made a rotten move on. I dropped Sandy Alcantara last week, and I knew he would get picked up immediately, which he did. He got picked up for $11 by my boy Blaze, my buddy Joe. He dropped Pete Lambert of the Colorado Rockies. Again, nobody's knocking over anybody to get Pete Lambert. But Sandy Alcantara, whatever, how the hell do you say it, he obviously has pitched pretty damn good. I had a problem last week with my pitching and making my waiver moves and dropping guys, and I had to drop a pitcher, and I dropped Sandy. Wasn't the best move of my career. I probably should have kept him. And now I got to suck wind and look for another pitcher. Yeah, again, when you got a guy like Robinson Cano, going back to Cano, you weren't expecting him to bat .330 this year, but you figured, gee, he's going to hit at least 20 home runs and drive in 80 runs, But he ain't going to come close to that this year. So let's not give Cano too much more fanfare here. Bob from Long Island, who's having a pretty good year in our league here. Big Bob, he's got no problem spending money, Bob. And he picked up Dwight Smith Jr. from the Orioles, and he paid $15 for him, and he got rid of Kevin Kiermaier. Now, Kevin Kiermaier gives you some steals